The NFL is refusing to release a final report into its investigation of alleged misconduct by officials with the Washington football team. The inquiry unearthed emails between former Las Vegas Raiders head coach John Gruden and former Washington football team executive Bruce Allen. The communications, which were leaked to the New York Times, contained racist, homophobic, and misogynistic comments. Critics argue the NFL is hiding more evidence of bad behavior within the Washington football team organization by not releasing the findings of the probe. So joining us now is law student and former employee of the Washington football team, Emily Applegate. She was one of the first women to speak out about allegations of a toxic workplace culture. Thank you so much for joining us, Emily. People hear toxic workplace, but I don't think they really have an idea of what that means. And I know you've talked about, people feeling degraded. Can you share some of your experiences while working for the team?
Yeah, of course. And first and foremost, thank you so much for having me this morning. So, really, it's just like on an everyday basis that you would walk into work and you were constantly being commented about your appearance or what you should be wearing, what you shouldn't be wearing. You kind of start to feel like, am I here because of somebody being attracted to me, or am I here because I actually have the brains to do the job? And it affects you on a day-to-day basis. It affected us, long after we were gone. But every day there was comments being made. Every day there was emails being shared. Every day pictures are being taken. It was just an endless cycle.
So, Emily, the NFL investigation into the team found that the team did have a toxic culture with widespread instances of sexual harassment. Why do you believe the league hasn't released a written report of its findings?
I believe because what's in the report is going to be so damaging to not only the Washington football team, but the NFL as a whole, that they're protecting themselves at this point. And today they actually start their owner meeting in Manhattan. So I'm interested to see what's going to come out of those meetings over the next 2 days, because that's putting all 32 owners in one room with the commissioner to have conversations about what to do about this report and what to do as an organization as a whole moving forward.
Do you think that the investigation was sincere? We talked earlier about the fact that they didn't want anything written down, that the report was delivered orally. It was a verbal report because the information was, let's say, too sensitive to have it written down. So I go back to my sort of initial question. Do you feel like the investigation was a sincere attempt at getting to the root of the problems?
I would like to believe that Beth Wilkinson and her team did the job that they were hired to do. As an aspiring attorney, I would like to believe that another attorney did the right thing. I believe that once she had that report, it was asked for it to be given to the commissioner orally, so he didn't have to really see it in black and white and therefore produce a copy to us. To put it in comparison, Deflategate's report was 230 some pages about the air contents of a football. Here, 150 employees were interviewed about sexual harassment and a toxic workplace, and not one page was given to the commissioner.
Emily, sort of detail for us your experiences in that organization and what you saw, what you witnessed, and why you decided to leave.
For me personally, I was really just doing a one-on-one dance with my immediate supervisor, the CMO at the time. There was people that had heard comments that were being made to me on a daily basis about my appearance, or I was being screamed at and berated in front of other executives about not printing something correctly, when unfortunately that printing option was just not a possibility with what we had in the office. I saw other people, like interns, be commented about, and these are 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old girls, and you're in your mid-50s into your 60s, and you're making sexual comments about them. And I spoke up as much as I can, but you get yelled at immediately for speaking out of place.
And so this is really interesting that you and 9 other former employees have actually sort of gone beyond the NFL, and you've taken this issue to the NFL's biggest sponsors to get them to pressure the league to make the findings of the investigation public. I'm curious about, what sort of response you've received.
So far, we haven't received any response, which is extremely disheartening because you have sponsors like Amazon that can do such amazing things for our society, and sponsors like Nike who are so heavily involved in athletics, but we've heard nothing back so far. So right now, we're very thankful that there's been members of Congress that have decided to take action as well. So hopefully that does inspire the sponsors to get on board. We do know that once they spoke up about changing the name, that's when the actual change happened. So we're hoping that that does the same here.
So what would you like to see the NFL do to make this right?
Well, to begin, we want to see the report. We all agreed that we would do the investigation and if it would be coming forward, if it was going to become knowledge for people so they can understand what was going on there and that they can create a change for the NFL. You know, there was obviously ways that you can remain confidential with your name and your likeliness, but the actual facts of the matter would be brought out. And that's just not something that we're seeing happening right now. We want that report out because we want to make sure that when young women go into this industry, it's a safe place for them to be. It's not a place where, as a 20-year-old intern, you're getting hit on by a 55-year-old media man. We want to make sure that when young women and men go to work, it's a positive, enjoyable environment and not a toxic workplace filled with sexual harassment.
Emily, let me ask you, since you've been speaking out, I know we're focusing here on the Washington football team. That's, was where the investigation focused. But I'm wondering if other women have come forward to you working for other teams or other, parts of the NFL, other departments within the NFL. If you've heard from other people and whether or not you think that this problem goes beyond the Washington football team.
Oh, it 100% goes beyond the Washington football team. This is a sports industry problem, and not just the sports industry, though. This is a cultural problem in our country and in our world where women are not treated as equals. I had countless amounts of women reach out to me after the story went published, telling me about their own personal stories. There's a woman that was working in the MLB who had a similar situation. She's also now in law school, so we're kind of on that same path together. There's women from the MLS that reached out to me, the NBA that reached out to me. Every single major sports organization has this issue.
Emily Applegate, it's really been a very, very fascinating discussion. Thanks so much for being on with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys.
We should point out that the Washington football team, who we reached out to, has declined to comment. We did also reach out to the NFL for comment. A league spokesperson released a statement saying, quote, they share their concern that all workplaces should be free from any form of harassment and discrimination, close quote. The statement went on to say that the league would not comment on Emily's story, but that, quote, the independent investigation found the club culture to be highly unprofessional, especially for women, and that they are, quote, focused on ensuring that their experiences are not repeated, thanks to the club continuing to implement the right policies and procedures.